Welcome to my channel, Shell's Flow Motion. Thank you for flowing with me today, and make sure to do anything at your own pace and make sure it feels okay within your body. Alright, good morning guys. Welcome to today's class. I didn't have much of a voice when I recorded this, so I did a voiceover for this video. But I'm in Florence, Italy this morning. This is at our Airbnb, just in the little back courtyard area. So I'm just going to do a short 10-minute class this morning. We're going to go over some foot mobility for the day. So if you want to start off seated, we'll go over a few points for class. We're just going to do a short 10-minute class to loosen up our feet and ankles. This is for anybody who's running, has plantar fasciitis, issues with heels, any of our heels girls, anything like that. If your feet are sore, your ankles are sore, this will be good for you. So with that, we're just going to take a few minutes seated to start with breath work, moving through our ribs, through our front and back of the ribs, through our chest and our abdomen, and just taking a moment to take a breath for our day, allowing it to move into our full rib cage. So with that, feel free to grab a blanket, get comfortable, and let's take a moment for class. When you're ready, inhaling, hold, and exhaling. Inhaling, hold, and exhaling. Inhaling, hold, and exhaling. Last one, inhale, hold, and exhale. Alright, from here, if you want to place your feet out in front of you, we're going to start out with our hands placed behind you, placing them with your fingers faced behind you, kind of like we're going to pop up into a reverse tabletop, but instead we're going to bend the toes, pressing slightly, shifting slightly forward with your weight, just so you feel a stretch through the top of your foot, through your shin. Again, if you're flat, hands behind you, as if you're going to pop up, and you're going to instead bend through flipping the toes and slightly pressing forward, adding as much pressure as you're comfortable with. Nothing too aggressive. Dropping your shoulders, keeping your feet flexed and engaged. Option to stay as you are here, or if you'd like to come into that reverse tabletop with your toes flipped, this is the time to do so now. Sending the hips up, keeping the toes flipped, staying sturdy through the shoulders, through the hips and the knees, and sinking back down. We'll do that one more time. Again, sending the hips up, staying strong through your shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles. Noticing how that feels in your toes, in your shins, and lowering back down. And this time we're going to bend the toes towards you, pulling them back towards you, keeping your back flat, keeping a nice bend in the knees, and allowing a wiggle in your toes. Noticing how this feels in your calves, your ankles, your Achilles, and the bottom of your foot if you have a tightness from plantar fasciitis. This is just going to help loosen that a little bit, allowing a little bit of movement with help of your hands so that your feet can have a little bit further of a stretch. We'll spend 3 more breaths here, just noticing the different sensations you feel with this flexed foot position compared to that rounded toe position. Maybe you wiggle the toes for a moment longer. And when you're ready, we're going to meet in butterfly pose, bringing the feet together, sitting on your sit bones, trying to bring your knees down towards the earth. And maybe you bring your hands to your feet, trying to spread your feet wide, trying to get your toes towards the mat, opening the bottoms of your feet towards the sky, making sure you're bringing your knees wide with your feet. Not only does sitting with this position open through the feet, it allows your hips to open as well. If you notice that your knees naturally pull down as you open your toes. And then from here, we're going to knock the knees together, bringing the heels out and bringing the knees in, allowing the knees to touch. Option to stay here. Or if you'd like to up the intensity, we can move into alternating single leg drops, starting with the right leg, dropping it down, and then dropping the left afterwards. alternating between the two. The movement should come from the hips, not the knees, and you should notice how that feels across that shin line. Trying to keep both sit bones grounded. On your next inhale, we're going to bring the legs together, coming to crisscross. And we're just going to work on pulling the knees towards the ground, moving from planted feet to lifted foot, moving from center and lowering the knees towards the ground, moving slow and controlled and at your own pace. When you're finished here, feel free to come to standing and we'll meet in a half lift. Then continuing to hinge at the hips, lowering down into a forward fold, noticing how that feels from the hamstring all the way to the foot. And don't feel like you need to lock your knees and keep them straight. Feel free to give a generous bend in the knees. Notice how the stretch feels with that micro bend without the locking. We're not wanting to get dizzy and lightheaded when we come up. We're wanting to have just a nice little micro bend. And then if it's in your practice, feel free to try and reach for your toes, maybe reach the floor, maybe reach for your shins. If you'd like to spend a little bit of extra time here, feel free, or you can place the hands to the ground, lifting up onto the tippy toes, and we're going to come into diver's pose. Option to grab something in front of you if you'd like to work on balance and just work on pressing up and coming back down, trying to move slow and controlled, or if you can reach the floor, you can reach for the floor as well. But if the floor is a little bit out of reach, you can always grab a block, a wall, a chair. There's lots of options. With this, you're wanting to make sure you're engaging through the ankles and staying sturdy through the balls of your feet. Taking one last deep breath here. Then releasing out of that, we can work on stretching out the foot. First, you can flex it, then flipping the toe. Noticing how that feels through the front of the shin, through the top of the foot. Taking breaths here, moving at your own pace, and then switching to the other side. Again, flexing the foot first, and bending that foot forward, allowing the knee to nicely bend, just noticing how it feels. And whenever it feels like the best time for you, feel free to flip from flexed to rounded toes. And with this, you don't have to reach all the way for the floor. As you stretch through this, you can reach for your shin, you can reach for your knee, maybe you reach for your thigh. You don't have to dump into it or push super far. This is just supposed to be a nice light stretch, so only push as far as it feels comfortable. We're not forcing anything. On your next inhale, feel free to plant both feet on the ground. Maybe you reach forward with your fingers, and we're going to slowly bend the knees, lowering all the way to the floor, lifting the heels off the ground, and we're going to work on a little bit of balance. If it feels okay for you and you feel balanced enough, feel free to bring your hands to prayer hands, just finding your center. And if you're wanting some extra challenge, try and rise up and lower back down within this like a lifted toe squat, moving slowly. Maybe we'll do it one more time. Oops, falling out a little. It's okay. Try and hold on. Last one. All right, feel free to swivel down onto your butt and meet me in cross-legged. So we're coming to the last couple minutes of class. So with that, we're just going to extend our legs out in front of us. And we're going to move through a few last closing breaths to end class with a few last foot stretches just to end the day. So with that, feel free to extend out your legs in front of you and start with flexing your toes towards the sky, breathing, and pointing them forwards. And as you inhale, we're going to flex the toes up, and as you exhale, we'll point them forwards. So feel free to move at your own pace, exhaling, noticing how your day has gone, how your feet are feeling, how your calves and ankles are feeling. If it feels like you've gained a little extra support, or if you've gained a little extra stretch, hopefully we brought a little extra relief. Making sure you're breathing through the postures. Last one, inhaling up and exhale, folding to your toes. Maybe you wiggle the hips a little And thank you so much for flowing with me. I hope you enjoyed today's class. Have a great day.